What's up, family? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Yes Chef. I'm your host, as always, Big Chef Dro, and today we're going to get into this pork roast, a standing pork roast, bone in. So I did this for 4 mothers in our community this past Mother's Day, and they enjoyed it. So I thought, why don't I come on and show you folks how I did it. It's so simple. It's so easy, and oh my God, if you follow this recipe, it's gonna be absolutely delicious. And we're gonna get into that. But first, let me say something real quick. I wanna thank you folks for watching my channel. I wanna thank you for subscribing. And I'm hoping that you're getting value out of my videos. I don't make videos to entertain you. I don't make videos to whiz through anything to have you guessing on what to do or how to do it. I try to be as detailed as I possibly can, and that's why some of my videos run a little bit longer, but you're going to get educated. So it costs me a lot of money to make my videos. This isn't a podcast. I don't just sit down and turn a mic on. I actually have to go and buy these products to bring to you in order to show you what I'm doing and how you can replicate that. But here's the deal. I want to grow this channel. I want to get it out to a lot of people, but I need your help to do it. So again, if you're getting value from any of my content, hit the like button. Even if you don't like it, hit the dislike button. The YouTube algorithm needs to see some type of engagement in order to get me through there so they can pass it out to more people. So we're going to go ahead and get into this standing pork roast. But I ask of you, help a brother out. Come on, family. Let's cook. All right, family. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. Let me go ahead and show you what we got here. All right, so I'm not going to be cooking this today. This is going to be the day that I use to brine. Now, the last one I got did not have the butcher's twine on it. And to be totally honest with you, I don't need it. So I'm just going to cut it on off of here and move it on out of the way. All right, folks, so let me go ahead and give you a tour of this standing pork roast. Again, it is bone in. Now, the butcher did take the liberty of cutting these. These are some really hard bones. You would almost need a meat cleaver to get in there. And they did a really good job. They got in there pretty good. Whatever's left, I can do it with the meat cleaver. But if you don't find it like this, have your butcher cut it for you, okay? Now, right up under here are some bones. Can you cook it like this? Yes, you can. But I'm a little bougie, so I'm going to do something just a little bit different. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to cut into this. And I'm going to expose these bones just for presentation purposes. Now, this is what's known as Frenching, okay? So basically what you're doing is you're getting all of the meat off the bone and exposing it, and you're getting it as clean as you possibly can. So now, it's gonna take some time. You're gonna need a really sharp knife. There really isn't any technique to this. But I do like to go right up against the bone starting out to kind of get it separated from there. And I'll get one of these done for you just to show you. Oh, there's a piece of bone there. I'll get it off with the cleaver later, or I might just leave it there. Who knows? Depends on how I feel by the time I get to it. Because again, Frenching these bones does take a little time. Now the trick is, if you can see here, if you can get under this, if you can get that like that, that's the trick to it. And once you get that, you can pretty much go all around it and get as much off as you possibly can. Okay. So I'll have to cut some of this. All right, folks, so I have the meat off of the first one for you. Okay, look how nice and clean that is. Now, if you want, when you go to cook it, you can wrap it up in some foil, but we'll go over that when we get ready to do it. So I'm going to clear the rest of these bones, get them nice and Frenched up, and save that meat. There's something you can do with the meat. Oh, and this little bone right here, I'm thinking this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm thinking this is one of these, but the butcher probably cut it the wrong way. So I'll keep it on there. I was going to cut it off, but I guess I'll keep it on there for now. Okay, so we'll be back with the next step for you. Let me go ahead and clean the rest of these bones off. All right, folks, so we finished Frenching the bones. Got as much off as I possibly could. This is how it would look once you're done with it. This is going to be a beautiful roast of this standing pork loin. So we're going to go ahead and brine it for 24 hours. We're going to wet brine it. And I love to wet brine my pork and my chicken for the most part, especially when I barbecue chicken. So what we have here is a cup and a half of granulated sugar, and then we have a 1/4 cup of kosher salt that is coarse, and then here we have apple cider. So I don't know how it's going to be with apple juice or any other stuff. I use the apple cider. So let's go ahead and pour some of this in with the sugar and the salt. Okay, get that in there as well. Now this is basically, there's no measurement to how much or how less you should use. If you're using a cup and a half of sugar and a 1/4 cup of salt, you better have enough meat in order to be able to brine. Now, I'm doing a lot because it's just a big piece of meat. So, and you want to make sure that your apple cider is room temperature. Because I'm not going to use all this, so I'm going to store it in the refrigerator. But usually when I store it in the refrigerator, I'll bring it out, let it get to room temperature, and then that way the salt and the sugar can dissolve into the apple cider. Okay, so we'll stick this in here. Now I'm going to just add a little bit more to it. Not really worried about this portion because this is the bone. There is a membrane on here that you can take off if you want, and I'll show it to you. There is a membrane there that you can take off if you want. It's not really that important because it's really all bone. You know, I have taken them off in the past, but I've also left them on. So there's the little membrane right there, and you can take that off with your hands very easily if you want. Okay, so that membrane is removed. Now again, if you don't want to, you don't have to. So I have enough in here that it will sit off in here, and I'm not really worried about that part right there. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and put some saran wrap on it. Just get some saran wrap and put this off into the refrigerator. We'll come back out and get it. Now, once you take it out, you're going to have to let it get down to room temperature again. All right, so we all sealed up. Now, I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator 24 hours. We'll be back tomorrow to show you how we're gonna season this bad boy up. All right, so see you tomorrow. All right, family, we're back. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I was supposed to keep this in here for 24 hours. I got busy with my business and everything that was going on, and so I left it in there for 48 hours. Guess what? Didn't do anything wrong. It just made the product a little bit better, a little bit more juicy. So it's been 48 hours since we put it in the refrigerator. So I've had it out for a few hours now so that it can kind of get to room temperature, and it has. So come in a little closer. Let me show you how this looks. All right, so this water done got a little murky. So as you can see, it has really soaked up this brine. Okay, you see how dark it is, and then you see the stuff that wasn't inside of the brine is still nice and red. Okay, so I'll put this to the side. All right, so let's go ahead and get these seasonings together. First off, we got some smoked paprika. We have some black pepper, the granulated garlic, granulated onion, my special mix. Folks, if this is your first time watching this channel, this is my special mix of seasonings that I use. And basically it's just two things. It's equal parts, 50-50 of Morton seasonal and accent salt. So 50% of each, put it in a container and shake it up, okay? Then we have some herbs. Got my thyme, my dried oregano, and my dried basil. Now, we're gonna go ahead and coat the roast with some mustard. I got some Grey Poupon Country Dijon. This is a coarse ground mustard. And then I just have the regular Dijon mustard from Grey Poupon as well. I'll mix all of those up. All right, so no need to measure that Grey Poupon out or any of this out, because I don't know how big of a roast that you would have. But I'm just going to mix them together. And here's why I'm mixing them together. That's because the stone ground mustard can be a little too loose. So I add the Dijon mustard to kind of allow it to bind a little bit better. All right, so let me get this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing here. I don't want you to miss out on anything. All right. So I'm gonna use my hands. You ain't gotta worry about it. You ain't gotta eat it. So don't worry about it. Don't even say nothing about it in the comment section, because you ain't gotta eat it. All right. So we're gonna get this on here, and we're going to put it all over on each side as well. Now, not too thick, but enough to coat. Now, I'm gonna put mustard on this side, but this is not the side that I'm concerned about. I wanna get the mustard on the sides that are gonna be eaten. And I will do it for presentation purposes. I will season that side for presentation purposes. But now, when you're doing this, you can lay it on the bones so you can get that mustard all over here. And I'm not gonna worry about the bottom at all, okay? That's just bones. All right, folks. So, we're done with that. I'm gonna get my hands washed up, and then we're gonna come back and show you how to season this thing up. Let's go ahead, get some seasoning on here. We're gonna start with my special blend. You wanna get this all over, so you can use these bones to your advantage. Lift it up, season it on that side. Lift it up. I'm gonna go ahead and put some pepper on here because the pepper often has a hard time staying on. So I want to put it on the bottom, close to the mustard, so it has a chance to stay on there. I'll go with some of the onion powder, some garlic, and I'm gonna hit it with some smoked paprika. So before I go any further, I'm just gonna lightly spray it. And all I'm doing this for is to basically hold on to the herbs that I'm gonna put on here. I want something to kind of hold on to it with. Go in with the basil. Finish it off with this oregano. And listen, folks, you can use whatever herbs you want. All right, then I'm gonna hit it again with this Pam, just so we can have something to just make it bind on there. All right, now turn it back over on the bone. So we have more area here to season. So let me get my hands washed. We'll season this top part, and then we'll get this all together so that it looks good. Okay. All right. So we'll just start all over again with our seasoning, and we'll just get this seasoned up. We'll come back once we get it all seasoned up on this top side and show you what I'm gonna do to the backbone side. All right. So you want to be careful on this side. Now, I'm not going to, put any seasoning or anything on it. I am going to put, this binder on here because I'm going to put a light thing of the herbs on there, and so I'm doing that just for the presentation purposes, okay? And that's pretty much all I'm gonna do with that. Now, here's the deal. So we can wipe these off if you want. Now these are gonna get really dark, almost to the point of being burnt, but I mean, if you're really concerned about how that looks, you can take some aluminum foil and you can wrap these up so that they look a little better. I messed around and got one with a little nub on it, man. I don't know how I let myself get suckered into that, man. But it's ready. We'll take it, put it on our sheet pan with a nice wire rack. Now, I'm going to go ahead and set the oven, or well, it's already set, to 280 degrees. And I'm gonna cook this to an internal temperature of about 130, okay? I'm gonna eventually get it up to 145. Now, all you old school folks, if you're my age or older, you know about, pork and what it was like in the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that. Pork has came a long way. So now you can actually cook pork to an internal temperature of 145. I like my pork a little pinkish. Pork is not what it used to be, folks. It's not raised the same way. They don't treat it the same way. They don't, they just don't deal with it. Deals with it differently. So the FDA has came out and said, yeah, sure, you can cook pork at 145 degrees and be safe about it. Okay, so that's the temperature I'm going to get it to. But I'm going to put it in there for. I'm going to put it in there at 280 and cook it until the internal temperature is about 130. I got my thermometer. I also went and got a digital thermometer as well. I'll probably use that before I use this. Get your digital thermometer to be better, okay? So we'll be back when this is done. I'm not going to give you a time because then you're going to cook on a clock, and I don't want you to cook on a clock. 280 degrees until the internal temperature is about 130. We'll be back when that happens, okay? All right, folks, so it's been 3 hours. We are at an internal temperature of about 129, okay? So I'm gonna let this sit out for about an hour, and then I'm gonna put it back in the oven at about 450 degrees, and I'm gonna broil it. And that's just to get a little bit more color on it. But I want it to rest. I want to make sure that all the juices stay intact, okay? So we'll let it rest for about an hour. We'll put it back in 450 degrees on broil for about 10 minutes, okay? We'll keep it in there for about 10 minutes, and then once we come back, this bad boy will be ready. All right, family. So we got them all cut open, and just look at this. This is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. So fam, there it is. We have now done a standing pork roast. Doesn't get any better than this. So family, there it is. We've done it. So unfortunately, there's not going to be a taste test. We got 7 bones. My other son is right down the street with his mother. So we're just going to enjoy this as a family. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking the videos and subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Come on, folks. Let's get this channel up to where it belongs. You know I'm doing it. I'm doing it for you. I'm giving you the content that you want. So, until the very next video, folks, till the very next time we see you, as always, family, peace. Thank you so much for watching this video. And don't forget, hit the like button. And if you want to be a part of the Yes Chef family, consider hitting the subscribe button. And don't forget, click the notification bell, and that way you'll stay up to date on all of our latest videos. Also consider becoming a member of my Patreon for up close and behind the scene content. And be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Thank you.